Hello everybody, welcome to the AP testing weeks. The AP testing is something that we high school overachievers who are convinced that college prestige matters do so that we will look good on the college resumes, and also we can get college credit early so that we can get them all out of the way while we're in high school. So since we're all not stressed enough already, I decided to add some controversy into the mix too. So here it is. We're in the testing spirit going to be taking the political compass test. And just know that since I'm a philosopher, you know, because this is the channel's name, I'm a philosopher, so everything I say is automatically correct, and if you think I'm wrong, you're a scumbag who needs to die. With that out of the way, this week's we're going to be talking about the country and the world. So let's just start. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. I agree with that. I mean, globalization is in general an idea for humanity in as a total, right? Because the only reason we want to globalize is because we want to bring all of humanity into the fold. That's the whole point of globalization, right? I mean, I happen to be of the belief that we humans, we're too busy hating each other and trying to kill each other to try to, bring out what's best in us to try to get out of this fucking planet. We're only going to be able to survive on here for so long, so we got to get to the moon, we got to get to Mars. We got to get out of this solar system because the sun's going to die one day. We don't have as much time as it looks like we have. We cannot be wasting time arguing and squabbling with each other on who's better or who's worse or where the fuck we want to do. So globalization in general, it should be an attempt to try to bring out the best in all of us, forget all of those things that divide us, and focus on our common goals. Now, globalization, for even economic purposes, there's nothing different with that. We all need to help each other out, and the economy is one huge part of that. So, I mean, why would you specifically want transnational corporations to do well? If they don't give some benefit to humanity, we don't need them around, honestly. So, I mean, the primary purpose of anything really should be the advancement of humanity. I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Hell no. Like, you see with Trump's recent decision, I know it seems like it was a long time ago, but really it was pretty recent when Trump decided to bomb and kill General Soleimani of Iran and tried to get us into a war with Iran and then hopefully drive up his approval ratings and go for re-election, I guess. I mean, that's the point of why he did that. And of course, it would be a bullshit war started for bullshit reasons. There's no reason we should support that. We shouldn't support the decision, and we shouldn't support our country when that happens. We shouldn't go, America, I'm gonna sign up for the army. No, hell no. You should only support something if you think it's right. Anyway, no one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Yeah. Right? We all got just plopped into a random location on Earth. Right? We, by no skill of our own, got plopped into this situation, and now we have to be proud of it? Like, you gotta have, like, no achievements whatsoever to be proud of just being born at the right place at the right time. Like, who are you? Go do something useful with your life and be proud of that. Now, it's another thing if you're, like, for example, not America, because America fucking sucks. We're all just super proud of ourselves, even though we have no reason to be like that. Anyway, if you're in, for example, Canada and you're not America, and you have a good healthcare system where everybody has the right to life, then yeah, you could be proud of your country for those reasons, but being proud of your country just because you're in it or just because you're born in it, I mean, it makes no sense unless you're like a narcissist who thinks your presence in a country makes it better somehow, which it doesn't. You're useless. And I know because you're watching this video, so you must be pretty bored. Anyway, our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Strongly disagree. I mean, if you think your race is superior, you're a dipshit who deserves no respect and you need to die. I mean, you can go as far as saying like black people are, I don't know, better against sunburns. But that's basically it. I mean, like even black people can jump a couple inches higher, but that's not a hard and fast rule. Those are generalizations. And generalizations about groups, that's arbitrary bullshit that can be very dangerous. No race has any superior quality except the melanin in your skin, basically. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. No. If you're in a place that's not America and your political system actually somewhat functions, then you know that other political parties, like, you don't have just the Democrats or the Republicans, right? You don't have just those two bad options to choose from. You have a whole range of different options. You got the Labor Party, right? You've probably got the Green Environmental Party. You've got the Christian Conservative Party. You got a lot of parties, and they all have some chance to win and affect real policy. And so in those cases, if you're in those countries who have a somewhat functioning political system, you have to work with those people and other parties to form a broad coalition to get your policies passed. And that doesn't make those other parties your chums or anything. You still hate each other. I mean, you're in different parties for a reason. But you're just doing this for the common good. So, the general idea, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, no. Military action that defines international law is sometimes justified. Well, you can break this into a few parts, right? The first is military action, and you could say that military action is never justified, regardless of international law. So you could go about that. And you'd have a point there, but I don't think that's the point of the question. I think it's more of the international law part. And here's something that you have to recognize is that not all laws are good. And if a law isn't justified in some way, you gotta break it sometimes. So I don't see why the fact that something is international or not international would change that. So in terms of military action, they may be things like war crimes. They may be referring to that, like war crimes such as not using mustard gas. And I don't know about you, but if I'm trying to conserve the lives of my own citizens, I'm not too worried about whether or not I am killing the enemy soldiers in a humane way. I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about my own citizens. So in that sense, I would also just go ahead and just do it. You gotta do what you gotta do. In the case of war where you're trying to kill each other, all reason has left and gone out the window. So you gotta do what you have to do. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. So I view this in the terms of effectiveness and policy, right? So what will the information and its fusion to entertainment do, right? So the worry here is that if you have information that's diluted by the entertainment, which is basically me doing this and yelling into a microphone while stuck in my closet right now, the worry is that the entertainment will kind of get past the information in sort of way. It'll introduce controversy or bias in some sort of way. So the worry is that people won't be able to tell the difference between the entertaining part and the informative part. And it can be very hard to tell, especially if you're watching Fox News, where anything could be a lie. So there's that worry as well. But the other thing is, the other thing is, how else are you going to inform the audiences, right? There's always going to be some people who are intellectually curious, and you could hide whatever you want in any way, they'll find the information. So there's always those people, right? So in that case, you wouldn't need to give them information. They would find, you wouldn't need to give them information in the terms of entertainment, they would find out. But most people, And this is why we have such little participation in our political system in America, because we suck and we're all ignorant bastards. The reason why is they don't have that information, right? So the way to give people who normally don't care because their attention spans are like 3 seconds, like a goldfish, the way to get people to care is to put that information. It's like a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down, right? So you could view it in that lens where people are going to be stupid and people are going to want to be entertained. So we might as well give them information as well. So that's the other lens to put it through. And so are we worried more about the harm that the entertainment can bring? Or are we worried more that there's not enough information, right, given to those people because it's not with the entertainment? And I would be worried more about the lack of information. So my reasoning is there's people out there, a lot of people, bunch of dumbasses, bunch of idiots, who think it's their civic duty to vote and that voting is inherently a good thing. No, it's not. Your vote only actually matters. Actually, it doesn't matter. Your vote doesn't matter. But your vote only is important if you vote and you know what you're doing. If you know what you're talking about. That's the only time you are justified in your vote. Now, a lot of people, they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And I could be one of them. Who knows? You could be one of them. Who knows? But there's people out there who are uninformed and they're going to vote. So we've got this system where under a democracy, we're expecting people, we're giving them the responsibility of not only voting, but knowing when they should or should not vote. And most people don't recognize that other additional responsibility. Not only to vote, but vote while being informed, right? So most people don't recognize that. So when someone is going to vote or not vote anyway, you might as well inform them. And I'm more concerned about that overall than concerned about whether somebody's being misinformed by the entertainment. So I would generally disagree with that. So that's the first part of my political compass test. I think I'll cut it here and I'll return next time with the second part of this test.